The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com. Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
Whether it's the latest museum exhibit, the newest restaurant, or the current hot play,
we appreciate the weekly updates on the arts, music, and entertainment.
Let's step out.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, longtime New Orleans artist Luis Colemenares. Hey, Luis, it's great to see you again.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Absolutely. Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Howdy. Hey. Okay. And making his Steppin Out debut, it's been far too long, DJ Johnson, owner of Baldwin and Co bookstore, also the Art Bar, and a lot of other things too. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on your success.
Appreciate that.
Poppy returns next week. And Luis, we start with you.
Thank you.
We could be talking about you today, but instead you really want to talk about this other artist that you became very fond of and you feel really needs much more exposure.
Yes, very much. Jim Zor was a elderly artist in New Orleans. He passed away at 82, and he was a very, very prolific artist. When he was younger, he went to Angola prison for a half matchbook of marijuana and learned how to paint in prison. And when he got out of jail, he was quite famous. He was in a lot of collections. He was in the New Orleans Museum of Art, the Southern Museum of Art in different places. And he was very prolific. And he painted amazing, amazing things in his lifetime. And so we're having an exhibit for him in Araby. And there'll be 50 pieces or 50 plus pieces of his artwork. In his collection, he has around 275 pieces in the collection right now. And we're showing 50 pieces and 3 to 4 big sculptures. And it's in Araby at Art Conscious. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful show. It's this Saturday. Yeah,
we're going to show some of the images. Mm-hmm. There's so much to see, isn't there?
Yes, very much, yeah.
I mean, and we wanted to put this in. That's not actually going to be on view at the gallery, but I had to put that in because his sculptures were amazing too.
He built that one. He built that one out of wood from Katrina, after the storm, and he built that in the middle of his living room. So, and he would build a lot of the sculptures that he has that are in the show out of Katrina wood.
And we're going to be looking at some of these canvases. Some are whimsical, some are a little dark. They're quite the mix.
Well, but when he got older, he couldn't do circles and couldn't do a lot of the faces and things like that. So he started using, frog tape. And he did a lot of geometric pieces. So in the collection, there's 127 geometric pieces.
What's frog tape?
Frog tape is a tape when you paint, when you peel it off, it stays a perfectly straight line. Because when he painted, he wanted to paint with a very thick black line, and he would paint over and over until he got that line perfect. When he was younger. And so, he always wanted to paint with a straight line, he said.
And of course, we saw Guernica. That's an homage to the Picasso, famous
the Picasso. He drew that one while he was in prison, and then he painted it in 2005.
Wow, my goodness. And what a place in terms of where it's being displayed. All this.
We love this gallery. It's incredible.
So exciting, and there until December 21st, but another opening this Saturday, huh?
Yep, this Saturday there's opening, and then in December 11th, I think we're having an opening with an art market and a band next door.
Oh gosh, okay.
So almost every other Saturday I'm going to try to have an opening to where people can come see the art. And then I'm doing private viewings for friends and family and collectors, you know, to come see the art.
So they can contact the gallery
Yes,
for more information
please,
about
yes.
this. We need to have you back soon just to talk about your work, because that's quite a body of
Well,
work.
I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
very good. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very
And
much.
DJ, oh my goodness. I mean, it's not just a bookstore. It's not just a cafe. And we'll show the interior, of course, with an homage to the late, great James Baldwin.
Of course, of course. So yeah, we're a literary hub, just to add on to that. So we're going to change the landscape of literacy, not just in the city of New Orleans, not just in the state of Louisiana, but across the country. So we've been fortunate to have a global impact right now on the literary space.
Now that is at a kind of a hallowed corner, at the corner of near Elysian Fields and St. Claude, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic corners in the city, being that it was the house of the world famous Jeans Po' Boys for so long.
Yeah.
So we've been fortunate to take advantage of a prime location.
But I love the interior with that wonderful drawing of James Baldwin himself, and you can see the activity. You encourage folks to hang out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because one of the things that we want to do, we want to get back to a place to where as we are experiencing dialogue and there's public discourse and individuals are engaged in interpersonal communication, because that's how we progress as a society.
Yeah. Now, not only are we urging that everybody, you know, of course, go visit on Elysian Fields there, and there's your website, but you've got something coming up this week.
Yes, I think I have, which will be the most historic dialogue to ever take place in the city.
This is Friday.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is Friday at Xavier Convocation Center. It starts at 7 p.m. We're hosting Ta-Nehisi Coates in conversation with Joy Reid, the two most prominent thought leaders today. They are going to engage in a conversation about how to have conversations. I know we're going into the holidays. In the spirit of the climate, political climate of this country, there's going to be tough conversations at the Thanksgiving table. This is a conversation about how we get past our psychological biases, implicit biases, and have constructive conversations rather than destructive conversations. How do we engage in dialogue that progress us forward rather than destroy relationships? So yeah, this is going to be, it's also going to be the biggest author talk that we've ever had in New Orleans. So it's well over 3,000 people that are registered to come, and it's going to be massive.
And you put this together.
Yes, I put it together. Yes, it's a lot of hard work, sweat, and I have a great team. I will say that I have an amazing team at Baldwin and Company. So credit to my team. To whereas, you know, we dream big. We believe that the literacy can solve the problems of mass incarceration, crime, impoverishment, housing inequities. We believe that the power of books and the power of literacy can transform this world into what we want it to be.
So Baldwin Co, BaldwinCompanyBooks.com for more information about all that you've talked about. But for tickets to the Friday event, Eventbrite.com. All
Yes.
right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here. Alan's back from Broadway.
Yes, and speaking of Broadway, when I saw Beetlejuice on Broadway in 2019, my review stated essentially that the scenic design and special effects were so dizzying that I could not see or imagine how they could transfer it on the road with the rigging, etc., from the Winter Garden Theater to a national tour and break it down, transport it, etc. And I was kind of right about that. Nevertheless, it's here with Justin Collette playing the title role of Beetlejuice, a saucy, foul-mouthed ghost who returns to the land of the living when his name is recited 3 times. Now, there are times when director Alex Timbers brings out more Beetlejuices than you could ever imagine possible, but it's all in good fun. The person who brings it back is Lydia, played by Madison Mosley, who befriends the recently deceased former house owners, Adam and Barbara, played by Will Burton and Megan McGinnis. The level of talent in this equity show is notable. Music is by Eddie Perfect, who wrote King Kong, and the book and lyrics are by Scott Brown and Anthony King, who wrote and originally starred and performed in Gutenberg, the musical. The show is really a tour de force for the cast, with wild and zany numbers in the real and netherworlds, featuring weird and zany characters, like a dead Miss Argentina there on the left, played by Hilary Porter, Charles, who's Delia's father, Jesse Sharp, and life coach Delia, that's Sarah Linziger. They also add comic relief to the show. And while this touring Beetlejuice does not really have as many special effects as on Broadway, it does entertain, but it's not for the very little kids. There is a good deal of cursing, and it's not that kind that comes from witches or warlocks. Nevertheless, the whole dead thing is well worth the 2.5-hour view at the Sanger between now and Sunday. Now, recapping several other events that I want to go over real quick before I get to Broadway. Tomorrow and on Saturday, Anaïs St. John is starring in her Josephine Baker tribute show in Algiers first at the Algiers Music and Artist Studio, and then she takes it on the road to Bay St. Louis along with Harry Marone Jr. and a small trio. And then next Tuesday night, playwright Justin Maxwell will be on a panel with fellow playwrights Denise Frazier and Mike Sly, moderated by Le Petit's own A.J. Allegra, a published playwright in his own right. Again, this is an event where tickets are free, but you need to RSVP and do so if you can quickly, because it is going to be at Le Petit. Okay, so last week the American Theater Critics Association held their annual conference in New York, and I was there, returning to Broadway. First of all, before the conference began, I caught the lovely and talented Sutton Foster in Once Upon a Mattress, where she starred opposite Anna Gasteyer and Michael Urie. As a matter of fact, I got to chat with Michael Urie, who was a delight after the show, as the Prince, of course, at the Hudson Theater. Now, the conference itself started up the next day, and we had a number of notable speakers, including the artistic director at Playwrights Horizons, and two of the actors there from Stereophonic, this year's Tony Award winner for Best Play, including Andrew Butler and Tony Award winner Will Brill, that you just saw. But hey, the highlight of the conference, watching O'Mary's Cole Escola interview Charles Busch, who's there on the right, and vice versa. Charles asked him questions, Cole asked him questions, on the way, of course, to be inducted next week, Charles Busch, in the Theater Hall of Fame. Now, the night of that particular day, I saw one of the most talked about productions, a scaled down version of Sunset Boulevard. Notice BLVD. They've scaled back almost all of it. Everything is in black and white, directed by Jamie Lloyd, starring former Pussycat Doll Nicole Scherzinger. It was an amazing theatrical experience. I recommend this very highly. Saturday, I saw Adam Lambert in the immersive cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, but his co-star of Sally Bowles was not on her. Understudy was there, so I kind of only saw half of the show in a sense. But based on Adams's work, and of course Steven Skybell and Bebe Neuwirth's performances as Herr Schultz and Fraulein Schneider, I can really recommend this show. It's very immersive. And also, I got a chance the next day to see, for all of us in New Orleans, the version of Wonderful World that we saw last Sanger at this as part of a national tour. I was really interested to see what the producers and the director would do with channeling Satchmo. James Monroe Iglehart there is quite good at doing the role. The songs now are orchestrated and arranged by none other than Branford Marsalis. It's absolutely soaring. The four ladies who play the roles of his four wives are also quite good. New Orleanians will really get this. The songs are standards from New Orleans and from Pops' career, including Hello Dolly and A Wonderful World. The choreography is also much better than what we saw here. I recommend it. If you get a chance to go get your tickets, get them now. Now, the show officially opened on Monday night, but on Saturday I was able to meet with James again. We met for the first time 10 years ago after Aladdin, so it was sort of a renewed acquaintanceship, and of course we saw each other after the New Orleans performances. My review for the show will be very positive. Opening tonight on Broadway is Elton John's Tammy Faye with New Orleanian by choice. Michael Cerverus there in the front. Michael really steals the show as the Reverend Jerry Falwell. He and Katie Braben, who plays Tammy Faye Baker, are excellent, and some of the great songs between them are really wonderful. I found Christian Borle a bit miscast, though, as Jim Baker. I think he really excels more in roles like Little Shop of Horror and Something Rotten, where he has the chance to show off his comedic talents. Prior to the show, I got to meet Michael again, who was quite generous with his time, as always, and I'm of course, wishing him to break legs tonight. The theater critics also got a private tour of the newly restored and refurbished Palace Theater, which opened for the first time since 2018. The entire theater has been lifted and suspended some 30 feet higher than it was at ground level before. There's even a new Art Deco chandelier that you saw there prominently featured. That was Stuart Lane, who is the owner of the Palace, and let me just tell you, he just wrote one of the most definitive histories on the Palace, a brand new book. All we got to see at the Theater Critics Conference, and again, I'm going back next year, I hope to.
All right, thank you very much. And the Big Easy Boys and Babes are back this time at Le Petit for one weekend only and focusing on New Orleans' beloved R&B songs. Here's a preview of their Big Easy beat. Well, this weekend at Le Petit Theatre, extra special because a lot of New Orleans music will be coming from St. Peter Street. We have Rich Arnold, creative director of
The Big Easy Boys and The Big Easy Babes, and the director of the show this weekend.
And the name of the show?
The Big Easy Beat.
How wonderful is that? So many very familiar New Orleans R&B songs. Let's introduce who's doing it. First of all, our musicians.
Well, our musicians, Logan Gross is playing trumpet today, and Jonathan Drury, a fellow Big Easy boy, is on piano.
But extra exciting are our Big Easy babes.
Yes.
And Whitney Mixon, oh my goodness, BB's Stage Door Canteen, last year a big winner, a truly New Orleans musical family. But tell us about who else you're with.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Whitney. And then we also have here Cristen Spencer and Josie Oliva.
Oh, gee. Now, you're going to be singing Irma Thomas songs during the course of your show. What's it like to sing an Irma Thomas song?
It's stressful, but it's exciting. I love singing things that are from the city. I mean, I'm born and raised here, so it's a given. But singing behind Irma, just singing Irma songs are stressful, but rewarding because it's fun.
Now, she is your mentor, you've told me. Huh?
I would love for her to be my mentor.
Okay, we're optimistic. We're hoping that will happen, right?
Yeah.
Very, very good. She's so giving.
Yeah.
And boy, does she sound great.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, even from afar, she can be your mentor. Just listening to her, you
you
learn
just
so much,
listen.
don't you?
Yeah.
Never better, really,
Okay.
never better.
Absolutely. Well, tell me what you're singing for us.
Time is on my side.
Oh, the quintessential. All right. Well, let me get out of here and we'll hear some Time Is On My Side.
Drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Time always on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Ooh. Now you always say that you wanna be free. Whoa, like I said you would, baby, and it won't be long to me. Yeah. Time's on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Time on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. You're searching for love. Well, just wait and see. Whoa, like I said you would, baby, and it won't be long to me. Yeah. Now go ahead, Logan. Go ahead and light up the town. And baby, do whatever your heart desires. Because I know, like Logan told me so many times before, he's gonna come back knocking right at my door. Y'all give it up for Logan at home. Yeah, yeah. Time's on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Time always on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. 'Cause I got real love, kind that you need. Whoa, like I said you would, baby, and it won't be long to me. Yeah. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Time always on my side. Yes, it is. Yes. Time.
All right. Woo! Now through Sunday at Le Petit Theatre. Wow, wonderful. LePetitTheatre.com for tickets. Plenty of picks this week, so I will start. Luna Fête continues through Sunday, 6 to 10 p.m. from Gallier Hall to the Piazza d'Italia, a free festival of light, art, and technology. Beignet Fest on Saturday at the Festival Grounds in City Park. Music, including the Imagination Movers at 11 a.m. and lots of local restaurants offering their various takes on beignets. Christwood Atrium Gallery in Covington presents All in the Family, the work of artists Babette Boileau and Margaret Crosby, who are mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. There'll be a reception on Saturday starting at 4:30. The Symphony Chorus of New Orleans presents a concert of Baroque concertos and solo cantatas on Sunday at 3 p.m. at St. Mary's Assumption Church, featuring Paul Moffray performing on his historic harpsichord. symphonychorus.org for tickets, or you can do it at the door too. Tuesday evenings starting at 4:30, the first WYES Holiday Marketplace with over 30 vendors and food available. Puppeteer Jeff Kent will bring his Mr. Bingle marionette, which was given to him by the creator of the Mr. Bingle persona, Oscar Eisentraut. We'll also show our excerpt from our Christmas in New Orleans program, and you can get your picture taken with Bingle. WYES.org for details. Alan, your pick.
So I have a couple. First off, the Giordano Dance of Chicago is going to be presented at the Mahalia Jackson Theater for the Performing Arts, presented by the New Orleans Ballet Association. And check it out. That's Saturday, November 16th at 7:30 p.m. And then I'm going to encourage everybody. I've got a couple of shots here. This is the beginning of last year's Ten Commandments hike. We had a Muslim and a Jewish rabbi candidate leading off to start the hike because of all the war, et cetera, in the Middle East. We wanted to encourage that. We have young ladies, we have young men, all who, again, are encouraged to learn about the Ten Commandments on the hike. Goes to 10 different houses of worship. You can be in this as well. We really want to encourage people to register at the SELACouncil.org site. Again, I hope that everybody will make it. It's a short, I think, 6 miles for everybody, and you go back home on the streetcar.
Okay, all right.
I'll see you at the theater.
Thank you. And to continue my picks, on Wednesday at Octavia Books, photographer Josephine Sakabo and writer Dalt Wonk and their husband and wife, they'll sign their new book, which is a look back at our city from 1970 to 2020. The Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival will honor Susan Larson, Priscilla and John Lawrence, and Brian Batt, among others, for their dedication to the festival and the community at large. Go to TennesseeWilliams.net for ticket information about that. It's going to be a fabulous house, too. And on Friday, November 22nd, the No Age fundraiser will take place at Noki at 725 Howard Avenue. This organization helps elder members of the LGBTQ community. And on Sunday, November 23rd, the New Orleans Hispanic Heritage Foundation presents its Azucar Ball at the Hyatt Regency to raise funds for scholarships. NOHHF.org. And finally, Cindy Abair has created a calendar, okay, focusing on some folks involved with local restaurant and entertainment groups. There's T. Martin and Lally Brennan. Me and my husband, Errol, are very honored to be included, too, taken right here at this seat. We've also got Poppy Tooker, and look at that. Poppy over at Antoine's, and TimesPicayune.com's own Ian McNulty, who joined us from time to time. Cindy will be selling her calendar at the Holiday Marketplace, but also around town, and Cindy Abair, photography.com. Before we leave, and we're going to show a little bit more of another song, a Dixie Cups medley, but I wanted to actually ask DJ, it just seems like one would have thought there would have been this kind of bookstore a long time ago. I know we have the community bookshop, of course, which is incredible, and what a tradition on Broad. But how did you get involved with your own?
Well, I think for me, that separates me is that the global approach to using the power of books to solve social issues and advocate for justice. That's the difference, and that's what amplified it, and that's what brought me into it, because I'm an avid reader, and I said, okay, how can I use books to be and make the change that I want to see in society?
Very good. And Luis, once again, it's so good to have you. And but just to tease on perhaps your next appearance here, just to say you're still making your furniture, but you're also your metal furniture.
Doing a lot of monumental sculptures for Henry Shane on the different streets.
And you've got how many thousand square feet building in Chalmette?
14,000 square foot building we're utilizing, and we're doing a lot of big sculptures. It's really
Congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. And now let's hear more from the Big Easy Babes. Good night.
My grandma and your grandma was sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, I'm gonna set on fire. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko ande. Giacomo fino anane. Giacomo finane. Look at my king all dressed in red. Aiko ande. Bet you $5 to kill your dad. Giacomo finane. I'm talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko ande. Giacomo fino anane. Giacomo finane. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. When you see the Mardi Gras, somebody will tell you what's carnival for. Go to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel of love. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko ande. Going to the chapel of love. Somebody will tell you what's carnival for. Aiko ande. Somebody will tell you what's carnival for. Aiko ande. Somebody will tell you. Aiko ande.
Programming on WYES is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From Masterpiece to Nova, Antiques Roadshow to Agatha Christie.
And of course, Steppin Out and Informed Sources.
We are pleased to support public television
It's been our passion.
for a lifetime.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. The Chicory House Bistro at the Rink offers breakfast and lunch daily. And now a new bar upstairs inside the Garden District Bookshop, 2727 Britannia Street at Washington Avenue. Learn more at therinknola.com.